Hi, seventh graders. We have two examples that we're going to do for a video, and then the rest of the worksheet is on your own. So for our first example, you'll see example 1, you have hours and pages, and then you have a table. And it asks you to find three things. 1, it asks you to find the unit rate. 2, it asks you to write an equation to represent the table. And then C asks you to explain how to find, here, let me look at the precise language. Explain how to find the amount of time it takes for any number of pages read. So we're going to start with unit rate. What I need to do is, I know that constant proportionality, the number that everything's being multiplied by, is the same as the unit rate. So that's the first thing I want to figure out. I'm going to start with this first top number. 3 and 1. Now I don't know 3 times what gives me 1, right? I don't know times anything. Unit rate is always times something. It's never divided by something. So 3 times what is 1? I don't know. So I know that I can do it the other way around. I can take my y and divide it by my x. Now I could do this, 1 divided by 3. What's one thing I could do? But I also know there's another way to write this. This is my y divided by my x. So I'm going to take my y, which is 1, and divide it by my x. This means to divide, right? This is my y divided by my x. 1/3 is my constant rate. Each of these is being multiplied by 1/3. And we can test it. So let's test it for this second one. 6 times 1/3 is 2. 6 times 1 over 3. 6 can be rewritten as 6 over 1. 6 times 1 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So each of these is times 1/3. Now it's asking for my unit rate, which means I need to label it. So 1/3 what? Well, I'm looking for, unit rate means per 1, and it always goes with my x. So 1/3 pages written per hour. If I wanted to, I could create this table and I could continue going up. Like I could have 2 and I could have 1, and I would find it where I have 1. I'd have 1 and 1/3, 2 and 2/3. This is my unit rate. And I'll push it up in case you can't see that. So it's 1/3 pages written per hour. Number 2 asks me to write an equation. Well, I know my unit rate, so my equation is y equals my unit rate times x. 1/3 x. And the last is to explain how to find it for and how much time it would take for any number of pages. Any number of pages means that I don't want to be specific with my numbers. I instead want to use my words that would apply for anything. So I'm going to write my response over here. How could I find the number of hours it takes to write any number of pages? I can find, we're just going to restate it, how to determine how much time it would take for any number of pages by dividing my pages, and this order is specific, by dividing my pages by my hours. Or we can change my to fit any. That might be a little bit stronger. By dividing any number of pages by any hours, right? This works for any pages and any hours. That is example 1. If you need to wait some time to copy that in, you can press pause and make sure you have it in your notes. While we're doing that, I'm going to set up the next equation. The next one asks for a similar thing. It's asking for the equation. We again have a table. And this time, the table shows the speed that Mr. Amadio walked last Saturday. We have hours We have miles walked. So Mr. Amadio went out a lot last Saturday for some parades and Mardi Gras stuff. We want to see how much he walked. In 5 hours, it says that he walked 1 1/3 mile. In 8 hours, he walked 2 2/3 miles. In 10 hours, 3 1/3. And in 11 hours, 3 2/3. Now I want to know how many miles per hour. Now, first thing I want to look at is, can I do 5 times something and get me 1/3? I definitely don't know off the top of my head 5 times what is 1/3. So in order to figure it out, then I'm going to divide. So I need to take 1 1/3 and divide it by 5. Now this is going to go back to some of our skills that we know with dividing fractions. First thing I want to do is I want to make this improper. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 4 over my 3 divided by 5. Now when I'm dividing fractions, what I have to do is do keep, multiply, and flip. So I'm going to keep my 4 over 3. I'm going to write this number as a fraction. 5 can be written as a fraction of 5 over 1. So it's 4/3. I keep, I multiply, and I need to flip. And this is again when order is important. It is 1 1/3 divided by 5. You cannot get that order mixed up. It will not give you the right answer. So I'm going to continue. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 5 is 15. I know that it's going to take 4/15. Everything is times 4 over 15. So when it's asking for my equation is y equals 4 over 15x. The rest of the packet is with your partner, or the rest of the worksheet is on your own independently. Good luck.